This election, the Village of Holmen and Town of Holland are asking residents to approve a public safety referendum to fund police and fire EMS. Tonight, we explore the budgetary constraints that make municipalities turn to the ballot to maintain critical services. When they look down at their ballots, voters in the Village of Holmen and Town of Holland will see referendum questions asking permission to increase their municipal tax levy to enhance public safety.
The levy is the portion of the budget that isn't paid for by external resources.
UW Extension and local government educator Carl Green says a levy is what can be collected from property taxes. Under current state law, there are caps in place to keep towns from raising property taxes too much. A town by law can only increase their levy amount based on yearly new construction.
Whatever your net new construction percentage is, that's the percentage you can increase your levy by.
Department of Revenue data shows new construction fluctuates quite a bit year to year. Holmen has seen population skyrocket, and overall property value has doubled in the last 10 years. But net new construction percentages aren't enough for Holmen to keep pace with their growth. And since other forms of revenue distributed by the state to the local level have been declining,
what it ultimately is doing is it's pitting municipal services between each other.
So a place like Holmen turns to the only other legal way to increase a levy: referendum. The Village of Holmen's $1.3 million levy increase is to hire more full-time police and full-time firefighters. Holmen police and firefighters say current resources push staffing levels to the limit.
We have more emergencies to cover with less people to cover them.
For the fire district covering the Village of Holmen and Town of Holland,
we currently have 6 full-time people working 2 people per shift on 3 shifts to provide 24/7 coverage.
Cook says it's a dangerous number to be at because OSHA laws include a 2-in, 2-out rule. 2 firefighters can only go inside a building to save lives if there are 2 other firefighters outside to back them up.
If we show up to somebody's house that's on fire, we cannot go inside to make an aggressive interior attack on the fire or try to rescue somebody that's trapped inside.
With a past referendum, the fire district could avoid that.
Go from 2 per shift to 4 per shift.
Just down the road at Holmen Police,
we currently employ 13 full-time officers. Most communities of our size will have 20-some officers.
Those 13 officers are on 6 days on, 3 days off shifts, but only a couple are on the same shift to patrol the village.
Unfortunately, we're one of those resources that you don't really need us till you really need us. When that time comes, you hope we're available.
As populations grow, so do the amount of emergency calls.
We're running into more and more overlapping calls where we get called out for one emergency, and while we're tied up with that emergency, we're getting another call somewhere else in the district.
We had one officer working second shift, one patrol unit, I should say, working second shift, and they were working a car fire with Holmen Fire Department, and during that car fire, a shots fired call came out, and they had to respond to that. And they actually had to call in the third shift patrol officer early.
Holmen Village President Patrick Barlow has spearheaded informational sessions to voters to make the issues clear.
I don't think any leader in any community really loves the chances to go out and say we want to raise your taxes. At the same point in time, we're obligated to provide the services that residents need. We would not be asking this unless we really felt we needed.
And if the voters agree it's needed,
it's going to be a game changer for us in law enforcement, where maybe we can be more proactive instead of constantly reactive.
Now, officials say personnel cuts would likely have to be made if the referendum fails.